we have some fundamental foundational issues as it pertains to the institution of policing, right? What happens is that the origin of policing in and of itself for us, people of color, is that they were created to protect assets. And unfortunately, those assets were slaves and land. And so just like with everything else in this country, when we talk about race, we want to whitewash the fact that that's the police's origin. So innately and inherently, people of color do not have a sense of trust. And rightfully so. But because we want to the institution of policing wants to whitewash and act like it didn't happen, they don't address it.
Well, we also have to be mindful that while we're being policed by law enforcement, there are a large number of law enforcement individuals that look like us. Now, mind you, they also have a job to do. So do we not trust them because we see them in blue? Or do we at least have that one-on-one connect, I see you, brother, or I see you, sister?
I will say that I have seen police officers who look like me deal with situations differently, especially in our communities, because he knows little Leroy that smoke a little weed. And so he's not going to overreact.
He also robbed Miss Jones' house.
Right, but he knows how this is going down because it's his community. So de-escalation, as you talked about earlier, happens differently when I'm connected to the community I'm serving. I hate to use the word policing because it has this connotation that, again, rubs me generationally and genetically the wrong way. I don't need you to police me. I need you to serve me.
And protect me.
And, and protect.
Some of my little women. And protect me.
Do it again. So,
but you're right. And we also have to understand that. So when you know that walking in, you deal with it accordingly.
Right.
It's like, you got your cousin Fred who a crackhead.
Right.
You don't, if you know cousin Fred, when he come over, he go steal your stuff. You put your stuff away. Stop letting him come. Well, you can.
We come out on the porch.
You sit right here on the porch, or when you come in the house, you sit in this chair right here.
Right.
So,
but
knowing how to deal with that.
And so what's uniquely creative, or not creative, but what's unique about this is that society has created our culture to be this way, but yet it doesn't want to own the responsibility that, Black folks are much more likely to have exchanges with police officers because we have been denied opportunities. We are in social economic environments that operate outside of the system, which means the policing stuff starts. You understand what I'm saying? But again, because A, the foundationing of policing is immoral, and B, they have a higher responsibilities as the authority to understand how to police these people. It's, in my mind, an epic fail by those authorities, an epic fail by those police officers. It's an epic fail that the good police officers have not gone in and weaned out those who are afraid of people of color, who are afraid to go into the hood and not make a big deal about a Lucy. There's, and I talk about this all the time, there is crimes of economy and there's crimes of morality. Crimes of economy I can deal with, because what would you do if you didn't have any money and you had to feed your kids? What would you be willing to do outside of the constructs of the laws of economy here in this country? Now,
other than robbing the corner store?
Yeah, I mean, again, that's a crime of morality. So when we talk about morality, we're talking about stealing, killing, raping, right, that kind of stuff. We're talking about crimes of economy. Grandma opened up a little candy shop to help ends meet.
Without a business license.
I mean,
lemonade stand.
Lemonade. Uncle June make plates on Sundays to try to help make ends meet.
Burning DVDs.
But
I get crimes of economy.
That's different and should be managed differently. If June sell a little weed, then I just don't think that warrants being choked out, being harassed, aggressed, all of that. And I do my research. I tried to do a little research after we did our pre-production meeting, and the DA up there said, it is. Let me see if I can, and I'm paraphrasing because I'm not reading the article, but he said it is a tragedy what happened to Eric Garner, right? But he made a decision to resist arrest. So basically what he said is resisting arrest it is perfectly logical and acceptable that resisting equal your death. And that in of itself is an example of how policing is fallible, how the laws and the lawyers and all of the legal system behind those police officers is screwed up, and why the faith in those systems is deteriorated or completely gone in a lot of cultures in our country, in our society. I think that's bullshit.
True. That's true. But we cannot throw the baby out with the bathwater. Coming from my perspective, we have to be mindful of what can we do now. And so while, we're going to have fun talking about this, we can get angry about, how this didn't happen. You look at the person that it came down from, the Department of Justice, the Honorable.
Say it again. Clear your throat.
Yeah. So we can look at that, but we're still going to have it. So how do you change it, and how do you prevent this from happening to the next person?
But the problem is I get it. That's the answer for those that have drank the Kool-Aid, right? That's the only system we got. So we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but they're throwing our babies out. Well,
not necessarily.
That is how we look at it.
That is how we look at it. I'm an avid, and this is going to be a little props. I'm an avid watcher of cop shows on all stations, and so
Bad Boys. What you want?
Live feed, all that. And I get joy out of watching what used to be one of my favorite police entities, before this migrant detention camp thing came on, but watching ICE, watching them patrol the borders for drugs.
Wow.
And the awesome thing about that is that they'll tell you time and time again, the passion that exists for people to traffic drugs and the crimes are committed, you can't tell what they look like. So that's one of the only law enforcement entities that does not racially profile people. And so that's, again, a good thing. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. They're not all bad. But what can you do to prevent it from happening?
I think contrary to that, I think that if the system is not working, then it must be. It has to be. It has to be via revolution, just like this country did when the system.
Area 51 thing.
Look,
51.
My wife has already bought a plane ticket, so she's like, they can't shoot us all. Jen,
don't go there, y'all.
Jen,
don't.
You brown, they will shoot your ass. All right, so you don't get to go to Area 51. Although,
look, she not gonna get shot first because she brown.
She, she goes, they might trip her up or something. But anyway, I think I absolutely believe that it is incumbent of the people to stand up when systems are not working in the best interest of us all.
Absolutely.
We got people spending 30 years in jail for crimes that we find out they didn't do, and one person spending their life in jail because of a system is one too many. Mm-hmm. We got the Central Park 5 where these kids were railroaded, and I just don't have.
Let me stop you there, because we're not gonna have this Central Park 5 conversation.
No,
I don't want to be crying and messing up my makeup.
No, me neither. Because But the point is too many examples on people of color where this system does not work, and if it happens to the majority in this country, they stand up and revolt, just like they're doing now with this current administration. This is a revolt that we don't know, that we are not clearly looking at it in the right way as people of color, but that's exactly what they is. But we'll talk about it on another show.
Let me say this before we leave this conversation. So again, going back into all things family life and health and healing and making sure that we're preventing, I think I would be remiss if I did not mention that we have to be mindful to act. And if whatever we've been doing has not been working, then clearly we need to do something differently. And it's going to start with when you have those encounters with law enforcement entities where, and it's not a casual where we stopped you, you matched the description, okay, you can go now. After we patted you down, sat you on the curb and all that good stuff. After we walk away, if there's an encounter that you feel was unjust, where you were disrespected, and I use that loosely because as a people, we have Lord Jesus, I think we have some issues with feeling disrespected unnecessarily.
Which I think
we'll talk about that later.
That's another show.
But we have to start by going down to these police stations. We have to start by filing complaints in the police departments, the sheriff's office, wherever these things happen.